Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Today, I've cooked something up special for you in Outcasts over in Leveticus 2. I'm starting to notice a trend with these videos where all of these shenanigans and crazy things are occurring in the title versions. So I really want to put a genuine thank you out to Weird for making some amazing new combinations and bringing some fresh things to the game here. Let's take a look at the list. So the whole concept of this list is Ash is going from one corner to the other corner off the map into the unknown, really. And if we get this, it will be pretty cool to see. We're coming in with a healthy pool of 6 stones, and we are hiring in the Mech Rider because we just want to launch a scrap marker up the board without having to worry about killing a friendly. Um, and we got Servant of Dark Powers on Ashes to give the Herald at the top. I want to step through each of the cards really fast, and this time I've given some helpful little outlines for what we care about on these cards. So for Leveticus 2, unimpeded, this is going to be important just to get to where he needs to be. The whole idea being pulling everybody up the board with him. The chosen few, it lets him hire in the mechanical rider. Embrace fate is something we'll be using or we'll be benefiting from, but we're not going to really be using it because he's going to go first. So we're not going to even be able to get 2 tokens on him. It's just good habit. Same thing with Riders of Fate down here. Um, from the beginning, we're going to be going for an amalgam minion, which is going to be an Abomination. And if you're in a crew with only one rider, you really want to be summoning these every single turn. And mainly, we're just going to have Leveticus walk up 7 inches because he's got 7-inch move on a horse and go for the to me bonus, which is, or action, tactical, which is a 6-inch pulse, and he needs an 8 for it, particularly of masks. The cool thing about this one is that when they push their move towards him, they also ignore other models. So we're going to be doing a fair bit of leapfrogging with Ashes, and we'll talk about Ashes in a sec. The Hollow Waifs, they actually do come in handy. Pain transfer and the combination with tools for the job. When you flip 2 cards in a conflict against yourself, you get to decide which card goes on top. Pain, pain transfer, even though it has a TN, we don't really care. All we're doing is hitting somebody else with this that is not injured and flipping 2 cards for every action we get. So we get 4 opportunities, which with 8 cards to kind of sift through our deck for a suit or maybe a better card if we already have everything we need. But that's actually a pretty cool combination there. I can't believe I haven't used it because I've been playing a fair bit of Amalgam lately. Mechanical Rider, same thing with Unimpeded. Chasing Fate. All the riders have Chasing Fate. And the cool thing about Chasing Fate when you're using it on your turn rather than when you're defending is that the spending of the tokens happen when you declare triggers. You declare triggers after you flip your card. So when you're using it just regularly, you get to flip your card first, see if you get your tome, your 6 of tomes, and if you don't, maybe you get a 6 or better, but you don't have the tome. At that point, you can spend your tome. You can spend your token. So that's kind of cool. And then Reveling Creation. This is the really big unlock. Needs a 6 of tomes, and then we're gonna drop a scrap marker within 6 inches of the Mech Rider's current position. Ashes. We're only caring about 2 things on his card. Whirlwind of Scrap. The bonus action, we need a 7. And we have to target a scrap marker that's going to be set up for us. Push towards 12 inches towards the target. It's important to also kind of call out that when you're pushing towards something, you stop as soon as you get in base contact with it. So things like this, for example, if we have a scrap marker down, we're not allowed to push through it and stop in base on the other side. We have to stop as soon as we hit it. And Savage Winds is super cool. It's basically incorporeal without the damage reduction because that was what the errata came through because necrotic decay was just a free damage every time. So this model ignores terrain and models while moving, and it's unaffected by hazardous terrain. After moving, you can pull up a scrap it moved through to have every model it moved through suffer 1 damage. We don't really care about the second sentence. We just care about the first. Basically, you get to walk through everybody, walk through people, walk through walls, show up on the other side, be scary. We have him with Servant just so we can get Herald, which is during the start phase of the first turn, move up to 6 inches, and the Emissary hired in. So Emissary, we're going to be shooting ashes with our Scavenger, and anybody that activates within 3 inches, a 3-inch aura of the Emissary, gets both +1 move to their stat until the end of their activation, and they get to heal 1. Just rewind for half a second. So that's gonna when Ashes activates within 3, we're gonna have a stat 8 move, can walk through walls and be scary, and we'll also regen 1. A Weary Road is another one we're going to be using just to give more movement and plenty of wares, with something in my pack built in. This is going to be to help mitigate the damage or regenerate some of that damage that we smacked him with our Scavenger before the Emissary goes. And the trinket upgrade, is really kind of dealer's choice. We have an upgrade on Ashes that allows him to heal 2 whenever he kills something. He's kind of a little bit, I don't know, he's got some good stats. So you could either give him a pretty floral bonnet or a vitality potion, dealer's choice, kind of how you feel in the moment. It's really up to you. And Scavengers here. So refurbish, the big deal here is weird device. We're going to need 7s on this one because Ashes and Dust is going to be who we will be targeting, and he is not a minion. But it's going to give out free focused, and we're going to be looking for masks to push Ashes 4 inches in any direction. And we're also going to be looking for tomes for surge. So between these two, those are the ones that we care about the most. And Tools for the Job is by far one of the best, strongest abilities in the game, and I love it. You get to go ahead and pull up the top card of your discard pile and discard a card from your hand until the end phase. This model may add the suit that you discarded to your final duel totals. Since you draw first and then you discard, even if you have no cards in hand, you can always draw the top card of your discard and discard it to get a free suit. I said we're going to be shooting Ashes earlier, so we're going to go hunting. We're going to hit them with the refurbished shotgun. We need an 8-inch gun range on that, and triggers must be declared if able. So this is going to be where we're going to get a lot of our out of activation movement, in addition to Leveticus. Actually, Leveticus doesn't take that back. So we're going to get knock aside for 4 inches, and we're going to shoot him again for 2 inches. So we'll get a total of 6 inches of out of activation movement with him, and that's going to be pretty cool. Abomination, I just have the Abomination here to show kind of another option that we will have if we need to really, really dig for that mask or any kind of a card, just the whole top box, right? Vile Reclamation's within 6 inches. We could do that as a bonus. It's going to hit somebody, so we will not be relenting anytime we attack ourselves. That's the list. Let's take a look at the map. I rolled, believe it or not, I rolled this map as my random map. This is quite possibly easy mode for this unpack. There's a lot of big bases, which is kind of jammed and some severe terrain through here. But for the most part, this is a size 1 cactus that does 2, 3, 4 damage in the center of the board, and there's nothing really blocking anything. We've got Servant on Ashes. We got a Vitality Potion and a pretty floral bonnet down here. We have 6 stones. And our deployment looks like this. We don't really care too much about, all we really care is that these 3 are in this order and that we have Ashes over here. Everybody else can kind of just go wherever they need to be. And I am playing this as this bridge right here is all not severe. So everything that's water is severe, so take 2 movement. And these are dense and concealing, and that's about it. So let's get into it. We are going to shuffle, draw our hand, ditch a card for initiative. And our first thing we do is we go with Ashes and Dust because of Herald. We're going to have Ashes come up in this direction 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you are unmoved. Action number 1, we're going to start off with Leveticus. Leveticus is going to go for a walk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 inches because he's on a horse. We'll double check and make sure that we have the Mech Rider and the Emissary within 6 inches for our pulse. And the first thing we're going to do is run through the bonus action, which requires a 5 of crows. I don't have any crows in here, so I'm going to go ahead and stone for it. Go down to 5, and I'm going to target the Mech Rider. The cost of this is target a friendly only. That's the cost. Another friendly horseman other than Leveticus, because this is in italics, within line of sight must discard a fate token. So the cost is being paid. We discard a fate token. Leveticus is Embrace Fate once per activation. He gets to gain a fate token when another model either dies or another horseman discards. So discard, he gets one. Now we're just looking for a 5. We flip the card, we get it. And the result of this is target gains a fate token. So Mech Rider gains a fate token right back. That just gives me 1. I get to summon an Amalgam minion within 3 inches. We're going to throw this Abomination up the board, unmoved, and that's that. Next, we're going to focus on the, to me, trigger on Leveticus's Soul Harvest Tactical. We're going to need 8s for this, and we're going to need masks. We actually have 10 of masks in hand. We need to absolutely reserve a 6 for our Mech Rider and a 7 or better for Ashes. That's required. So we're going to go ahead and keep these 2, and that will allow us to cheat this if we need it. So we're going to do Soul Harvest, action number 2. Do we get it? No, we don't get it off the top. We're going to go ahead and dump this. That is going to do an AoE pulse of 1 damage to enemy models within range, which there hopefully aren't any. And start off with Emissary. Emissary is going to move its movement towards Leveticus, ignoring other models. And we're just going to aim for that outside edge of his base. 1, 2, 3, 4, because we're a stat 4. Unmoved. And now we're going to do it again. This time I am going to stone for it because I don't have a cheat card. And we need to hit that 8 TN. We get it. Perfect. So we'll pull the Mech Rider. This is where things get a little bit spicy. I said we're going to play some leapfrog, right? So requirements, we have to be pushing, and we have to be pushing towards Leveticus. We're going to be aiming for this side of Leveticus's base, halfway up, and we have 7 inches of movement, ignoring other models. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it's up to, so this would be a full 7, but we're not going to take it. We're going to come up just a little bit, and we're going to go into base contact with Ashes and Dust. So let's, we pause for a quick math lesson. Sorry, but 50 millimeters is 1.9 inches. So just under 2. And these are both 50 mils. So if we get to push for 4 inches, 1.2 inches will get us just a little bit on the other side of this, overlapping. And then 2 more inches will get us fully outside of base contact. So 4 inches moving through a 50 mil as a 50 mil will get you through the whole model. And now we're back. So Levy is done. We walked, we did Soul Harvest twice, we summoned off of our bonus action, and we have our fate tokens. Next up, we have a mask in our hand. So no time like the present. 13 a severe on our discard. We're going to start with the Scavenger right here. Take this, discard the 4 masks. Now we have masks baked into everything we do. We're going to start off with a weird device. We need to hit that 7 And we automatically have Mask baked in for Knock-Aside, which would push him in 4 inches in any direction. So can we do it? We get exact change, and oh my goodness. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to go directly through the Mech Rider, not in base with Levy. 1, 2, 3, 4. And as it turns out, we are perfectly on the other side. We intentionally left a gap here so that way we can shoot Ashes as well. So that was a bonus action. We got to get within 8 inches, so we're not in 8. Make sure we find ourselves line of sight and a charge lane that works. I want to save some space for this other scavenger later. 1, 2, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, and that should be good enough. I want to make sure that I'm leaving some space in here. I think we'll be okay. I hope we'll be okay. I'll just scoot to the right a little bit and down a little bit. And now we're going to shoot. So the rules for concealment is another thing that I had to look up for this. Line of sight is drawn top down. It doesn't really matter if another model is blocking your sight line to your target. If any of your sight lines go through concealment, then your target is considered to be benefiting from concealing. So what that means for us is that we're going to shoot on a negative. We already have masks baked in, which means we're going to have under pressure. So a negative twist on the attack, and then 3 cards pick the worst. Ashes takes 2 damage and pushes 2 inches away from a scavenger. All right, so we still unmoved. We walked, shot, and did a bonus action. The bonus action actually gave Ashes focus, so there we go. We are now resolved there. Now what we're looking for is we're looking for tomes. We want to draw cards. We don't really need to shove him any farther up the board. We don't need to repeat this. Plus, I don't want to damage him any further. So at this point, we don't have any tomes in hand or on top. I am going to go with the Hollow Waif. Hollow Waif is going to do the pain transfer. I'm going to start with the top Hollow Waif, just in case we can get it. She's going to pain transfer the other Hollow Waif. Attack, do not relent. I don't see any tomes. Let's do it again. There's a tome. There's another tome. Great. So yeah, let's just put those away like that. This Hollow Waif is done. Next up, second Scavenger. Scavenger's going to draw this tome and discard that tome. We have tomes. The other cool thing about that is this Scavenger now has Unmade baked in for the rest of the turn. So 6 inch aura off of Ashes, that's the range on our weird device. So that's where we have to get. I'm kind of glad I did the down and away smaller movement earlier, because now I think it looks like we need it. Let's go through here. 1, 2, 3, 4.5 step for 5, and then we'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all half steps all the way. We've got line of sight through that crack, and this is a tactical which does not suffer from concealment. We will go ahead and look for a 7. We get it. Go figure, we get the tome off the top. As you always do. Declare the surge trigger off of the weird device. Draw our hand back up to 6. That's really good to have for Ashes. Scavenger and Scavenger are done. So we don't need to do anything else with the other Hollow Waif. We don't really need to do anything with the Abomination. Right now, the next best thing that I really want to push is to heal Ashes up. So we got to make sure we're reserving a 6 for the Mech Rider and a 7 or better for Ashes. So we have both of those cards, and we have 2 Severes as well. Hodgepodge is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. aura is going to clip the Mech Rider with line of sight over here, and we are going to Weary Road Ashes and Dust. Ashes is going to stay within this aura, but we're going to push him 3 inches and drop a ski marker. 1, 2, 3. Still in the aura, drop a ski marker as part of Weary Road. And if I did this right, the ski marker will touch the center line. So there's a fun little threat there. And then finally, we're going to heal Ashes. We need to find a 6 for that to go off. Flip our card. We do not. We definitely want to heal Ashes. So now these are going to be our cheat cards. And we will heal 1, 2, 3. We will heal 1. And that is okay. At this point, you're going to put on a trinket upgrade because that is built in. I am going to put a vitality potion. You could also put pretty floral bonnet, depending on what strat you're running or what schemes you're going for. This is really, really good. Vitality potion is really going to help keep him alive since he's going to be over here with no friends to back him up. And Ashes has not activated. Okay, so we're in the middle. We're ready for our 1-2 punch. Our setup is the Mech Rider, and our punch is Ashes. I do not want to put my Mech Rider over here in case my opponent has been setting up for a big punch themselves. So at this point, you stall. You go with your Hollow Waif, just kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sure, great. Then you go with maybe your Abomination, or you do your Abomination first to really just kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's got a entropy aura. It's gonna block this off. That'll be annoying for your opponent, right? So we have fully stalled our opponent now. I'm gonna take down these auras except for Emissary because this is important. We will now activate our Mech Rider. Mech Rider gets +1 movement for the rest of its activation, and it gets to regen 1. It's already at max, so it doesn't need to do anything there. We have 8 inches of movement. Let's take this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now, if I haven't said it yet this video, we break out our auras because Malifaux is a game of triangles. So 12 inches for Ashes and Dust is the farthest he can reach off of his bonus action. 6 inches, this aura is the farthest we can drop a scrap marker. We've got 1 more activation and a bonus to go. We've got 8 inches of movement to do it. So we're going to do it. I'm going to come over this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and a half. Sure. Let's stay right there. And we need to flip a 6. And like I said earlier, we get to see if it's a tome. Hey, so we didn't have to spend this at all. We super get it. We will take a copy of our scrap marker and we're going to drop it as far away, just on the outside of the 12-inch aura reach as we possibly can. Because again, pushing towards an object, you will stop in base as soon as you touch that object. Now, Mech Rider is complete. Here we go. Ashes and Dust. We have been doing everything we can. We have a vitality potion. We are within 3 inches of the emissary. We activate. We regen 1 from either of those two. We're up to max health. We also have 8 inches of movement, and we care not about hazardous and severe terrain. The only thing we care about is flipping a 7. Do not call out the black joker, especially after flipping the red. Oh, yep. We are lucky today. And we push 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And this is where the fun begins. We still have a walk and a charge at our disposal. And heck, if you flip a mask on your attack, you could even like the wind 5 inches farther on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And where we're going, either we don't need roads or there are no roads. Sorry if I messed up. Sorry I messed it up. But that's it. We started over here. More references. My brain started at the bottom. Now we're here. Over at the top left corner off the map. Use any of these as a charge. You can do whatever you want. It's awesome. It'll get you in the back line for um, things like guard the stash. Yeah, so let's moving on. Like final thoughts. We ended up off the board. We also have an entropy aura on a 50 mil base, so you can really like from here. If your opponent has, depending on where they are and what you want to snipe, you've got 2 focus. We lucked out and got a 13 of crows. And if we're looking at what we took with Ashes, Necrotic Decay, he can take 2 damage to pump his damage track up to 4, 6, 7. You'll likely be able to cheat. And 7 damage, I mean, we got lucky with these, but it's not unheard of that you'd be pulling Severes with 2 Scavengers in your deck. The yeah, just you can chase anything down, maybe one shot it. If you do, because Ashes has the Servant of Dark Powers, he's going to heal after killing an enemy model. He'll heal 2, so he will. If you pump in that necrotic decay damage, he'll heal it all back. So this was pretty cool. I really enjoyed it. I always enjoy trying to puzzle these things out, and this one, being in a keyword that I play, kind of helps me think a little bit more laterally about some of the other options that I've got available to me. So I hope you enjoyed and learned something today. Let me know if you tried it out, as always, and I will see you in the next one.